Scenes of devastation in Rafah refugee camp as Israel resumes its bombardment following the end of the week-long truce, and in Khan Yunis, also in southern Gaza. Meanwhile, rockets were fired from northern Gaza toward Israel. The two sides blamed each other. Speaking from Dubai, U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken joined Israel in blaming Hamas.
Hamas reneged on commitments it made, in fact, even before the pause came to an end. It committed an atrocious terrorist attack in Jerusalem, killing 3 people, wounding others, including Americans. It began firing rockets before the pause had ended, and as I said, it reneged on the commitments it made in terms of releasing certain hostages.
The truce ended early Friday as Blinken left Israel. Hamas accused him of giving Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu permission to resume strikes.
It was clear yesterday that the Israeli side wants to go back to fighting, as several ideas were put forward by mediators, and we accepted 3 of them. And despite that, the Israeli side said no, 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 every time.
With more than 100 hostages still held by Hamas, another truce could restart if both parties agree. Blinken said the U.S. is pushing for it. He again urged Israel to avoid further mass displacement of Palestinians and damage to critical infrastructure, and to begin discussion about what happens to Gaza once the fighting ends.
How's it governed? Where does the security come from? How do we begin to rebuild? And critically, how we get on a path to a just and lasting peace. And for us, of course, that has to result in a state for the Palestinians.
Earlier this week in Ramallah, West Bank, Blinken told Palestinian President Mahmoud Abbas that the U.S. is set to impose visa bans on Israeli settlers who attacked Palestinians in the West Bank, signaling a tougher stance from the Biden administration as international pressure mounts on Israel.
It's around 1,000 children have had an upper or lower limb or both amputated these past weeks, around 1,000. Again, it's callous to think that to know that we are now apparently returning to that.
The UN is urging Israel to abide by international humanitarian law and ensure the protection of civilians. The Israeli military says it has taken steps to do so. Patsy, Widakuswara, VOANews, Washington.